This video is brought to you by CYBERPOWERPC. Check the link below for more details. Hi everyone, welcome back to Joanne Tech Lover. I'm Joanne, and today I'll be going over this Cooler Master Silencio 352 mini tower. And I'd say that this case is very budget friendly, and it's for those who want more of a silent build, and it's packed with features. Here's what you get in the box. Of course, you get a quick install guide, as well as this magnetic top cover. So if you're not planning to install a fan there, definitely use this so you can have a more quiet setup. I took some items out of this bag of mounting hardware, not the screws of course, but I did take out the motherboard speaker. I might have some use for it for when I'm building my system. Now then, there's also this anti-vibration ring. You get several of them. This is for SSD installation on the back of the motherboard tray. And you also get a lock buckle. Awesome. This is for securing your side panel so no one gets in there, although I imagine that they'll just steal the whole thing. Anyway, and there's also a golden standoff. You get some more in there as well, but of course that's for mounting your motherboard to your case. Last but not least, we have a bunch of zip ties for cable management. Maybe it's your favorite part. Here's a look at the dimensions of the case. It measures 200 millimeters or 7.8 inches by 378 millimeters or 14.9 inches, and turn it around to this side. It's 453 millimeters or 17.8 inches deep, and it weighs in at 4.7 kilograms or 10.3 pounds, which is very light, at least in my opinion. And as to the material, it's mostly made of steel with some plastic for the front panel, and there's this glossy strip along this edge with vent ports on both sides of the front panel, and as you can see, some right here as well. Now then, let's get a closer look at the front panel ports. You get a reset button as well as a power button and LED indicators next to those. And beneath that you get two USB 3.0 ports and a USB 2.0 port, headphone and mic jacks, and an SD card reader. I don't see these enough on cases, and it's perfect for me because I transfer a lot of files via the SD card for editing purposes. And here is a look at the Cooler Master logo, but let's go ahead and open up this front door. On the other side of the magnetic front door, you get some sound dampening material, which is great because this is a silent build, but it doesn't look like I can move the door onto this side, which shouldn't be an issue for some. Now then, here's a look at the 5¼ inch drive bay. And you can go ahead and have a max length optical drive of up to 170 millimeters or 6.7 inches, so as to avoid complications with the motherboard. And here is a 3.5 inch drive bay. There's also two internal 3.5 inch drive mounts, and then here is a dust filter. It is removable. Love it. Just hold it down like so. And then on the other side, you will notice that there are 4 screws here. Removing them will take off this piece of the dust filter, and then you can go ahead and clean that with ease. And then beneath that, we have some large honeycomb ventilation as well as a mounting point for a 120 millimeter fan as well as an additional one. So this case comes with a pre-installed 120 millimeter Xtraflo intake fan, and you can also mount a 240 rad up front if you want as well, which is super exciting. Alrighty, let's go ahead and close this door up and move it along to this side, which you just get a popped out side panel, but it's more useful on the other side for cable management purposes. Now let's go ahead and turn to the rear of the case. So first up, you get a pre-installed 120 millimeter Xtraflo exhaust fan, but there are mounting points for 80 or 90 millimeter fans, but I'm not sure why you go lower unless, of course, this one breaks and you just happen to have another one. Anyway, next to that is a knockout for your I/O shield on your motherboard, and then you get 4 expansion slots as well as some holes to thread through your water cooling loops if you're deciding to go custom or whatnot. And then right here on the edge, this is a slot for the lock buckle, so you can go ahead and lock up this side panel, but this case is so light I would just take it with me. Anyway, but not like I would steal. Anyway, beneath that you get a bottom power supply mount, and then let's go ahead and pull out out the dust filter. Here's a look at the bottom filter for where your power supply sits, and we're gonna go ahead and turn this baby to the final side. And there's the popped out side panel that I was talking about. At the top of the case is a mount for a 120mm fan and the dust filter that you can remove by taking off these rubber inserts. So give me one moment. Aha, there we go. So as you can see, that's how it goes. There's 4 of them, and then you could just pop them right in like this, but don't press too hard because I did that once and the rubber piece just went through. Alrighty, and now here's a demo of the top magnetic cover. So we're gonna go ahead and just, oops, wrong way. Place it on here like so, and then you get optimal silence. On the bottom of the case, you get some raised feet with rubber padding to help improve some of this airflow, as well as reduce some of that vibration. Now beneath this foot, you get some screws here, and you're like, what's this for? Well, you can remove the internal hard drive cage by taking these off and a couple other screws. And finally, here's another look at the dust filter that goes on the bottom of the case, and there's honeycomb ventilation beneath that. All right, let's see what's behind door number 1. Just kidding, it is just the right side panel. But still exciting! So we're gonna go ahead and remove this real quick. And on the other side, you will see some more sound dampening material. It's a little dense, but I feel like could be denser. Now then, let's move this aside. You get a cutout for your aftermarket heatsink with tapered edges so you don't cut yourself, as well as plenty of tie-down points to use with your zip ties, so you can go ahead and cable manage this. Now then, next to that, you get 2 mounting points for 2.5-inch drives, and I believe using the anti-vibration rings, you can go ahead and drop and lock them to secure them. Now in this area here, you get plenty of room for routing your cables, as well as a look at your drive cage for your 3.5-inch drives, but more on that when we get inside. As you can see, there's not too much space behind the motherboard tray for routing cables. However, that's what the popped out side panel will do for you. And this case is compatible with Micro-ATX as well as Mini-ITX motherboards. Now for a look at the interior, and on the other side, you get some more noise isolating padding. Very cool. Now then, let's set this aside real quick. And here is another look at the 120mm rear exhaust fan. You get a 3-pin connector as well as Molex connection in case your motherboard runs out of fan headers. Now then, let's go ahead and take a look at the motherboard tray. You get a couple golden standoffs already on there, and here is a look at the connectors. So you get a 20-pin USB 3.0 connector, as well as, let's see, HD audio and another audio connector, and this is your USB 2.0 connector. And finally, we have a bunch of these power, reset, as well as hard drive LED plugs. I like that they're all black, well, except for the audio. And then on this side, you get another look at your 5.25-inch drive bay, as well as 3.5-inch drive bay. And beneath the 3.5-inch is a cleverly hidden 2.5-inch drive mount. Very cool. So you get 4 in the case, 2 on the back of your motherboard, 1 here, and then 1 more on top of the 3.5-inch drive cage. Mind you, most of this is metal. Metal, metal, and metal. So in the cage, you'll be able to install 2 3.5-inch drives, and you can go ahead and remove the cage by taking off those 2 screws back there and 4 on the bottom. And let's move along to the left of that, and let's tilt this case once more. So here you do get some raised feet with rubber padding for where your power supply sits, of course, to help with airflow as well as reducing that vibration. I removed the drive cage, and here's a better look at the 2.5-inch drive mount on top of the cage. You can go ahead and just take this out, and here is a look at the 120mm front intake fan with its 3-pin connector as well as Molex plugs. Now then, above here, I believe you can remove the 3.5-inch external bay as well, because I saw a screw here and it's not riveted in. So I'm sure once this is all gone, you can go ahead and install a 240mm radiator with push-pull config. Last but not least, we have the clearance. So the CPU cooler height clearance is 155mm or 6.1 inches, and the video card length is up to 355mm or 14 inches, and there you have it, folks. And now for pros and cons. I think a pro for some is that this case is compact, so it's easy to tote around, especially if you're going to a LAN event or need your system for a presentation. And love all the clever spots for 2.5-inch drive mounts. There's 4 of them, so that's plenty for rating. And I always like a removable hard drive cage in case I don't plan on installing any 3.5-inch drives and I want to improve the airflow. I like that Cooler Master provides a magnetic cover for the top fan mount for versatility. There's even enough room up front for a 240mm radiator for those who prefer water cooling. And a pro for me is the SD card reader. I edit a fair amount and it would eliminate the need for a card adapter. And of course, sound dampening, lots and lots of it all around the case. As for the cons, I believe this case needs more cable management space on the right side, and the sound dampening material could be more dense. It does feel a bit thin, but it's not too shabby, and I honestly don't have many cons for this case because it's packed with features at an affordable price tag. It doesn't even have much plastic except for the front panel, and perhaps the plastic could be thicker and sturdier, and the plastic is more fingerprint prone. Well, that wraps it up for this video on the Cooler Master Silencio 352 Mini Tower. I'm Joanne, and if you like what you saw and you want to see more like it, be sure to hit the like, comment, and subscribe buttons, as well as follow me on social media. Joanne Tech Lover Facebook fan page, Joanne Tech Lover again on Twitter, and Joanne Tech Lover once more on Instagram. Also, please don't forget to hit the donate button so I can help expand this channel as well as feed this techie. And I started up a new channel called JTL Lifestyle for everyday gadgets, random gadgets, anything that you might want to see. And also JTL Cuteness Overload. That's another channel that I started for, I don't know, for fun. Check out my amateur filming skills and editing skills. Anyway, one last thing is storeenvy.com where you can go ahead and check out my 8.5 by 11-inch autograph prints that you can buy. I guess all that's left to say is bye-bye!